And now it's Deborah Kobylt Live and the Little Italy podcast.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on our Little Italy podcast and Deborah Kobylt Live. This is a part of our Italian Heritage Month series, so we are thrilled to welcome our three guests. Let me start with Lynne Deutch. Lynne Deutch is a critically acclaimed artist and photographer, and her work depicting photographs from Capri will be on display through November 20th, I believe, at Mauro Cafe on Melrose in Los Angeles, one of my absolute favorite restaurants that also honors and has been a friend to the artist community in Los Angeles, honestly, for decades. And we have the owner of Mauro, Evelyne Joan. Evelyne, why don't you just raise your hand? People are like, wait, who's who here? So we've got Evelyn. She's at the cafe. We've got Lynne in her home, and I believe one of your paintings is right behind you too. So that's very exciting. And joining us is the creator of the show, of Lynne's work at Mauro Cafe, and we've got Piero Addis joining us from Milan. I'm thrilled to have the three of you. We managed to put all this together, different time zones and, people's work. So thank you for being here. And to my friend Courtney, who managed to arrange this wonderful interview. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to start first with you, Lynne, and your work and your journey in Capri to taking the stunning photographs that we're going to be seeing at Mauro Cafe. That's already on display there, I believe, too.
Yes, as of yesterday. And first, I would like to thank Evelyn for being so generous in giving me the space to put my work, and Piero for curating this show and all of the really amazing things that you've done. And thank you to Deborah, and especially also to Courtney, who's an amazing, amazing person.
Yeah. So let's talk about your work, about your love of the island of Capri, and how this even ended up as a show with your beautiful photographs.
I love Italy. I've been going to Italy for so many years. I used to have a store on Melrose Place, so I did the buying in Milan. And it's a big Fiero in Milan. And I don't know, we had some friends who used to go to Capri every summer for 1 month. They were Australian. And one summer they said, because we were going to be in Europe, they said to me and my husband, why don't you come for a few days? We said, great. So we went to Capri for maybe 3-4 days, and it was so wonderful. And then the next year they said, are you coming back? We said, yeah. And we went back for a week. And then this last year, we were there for 1 month. And the amazing thing is, we've been going there for almost 25 years. Every year I discover something new, something different. And I take my camera, now I take my iPhone, and around the corner, down the road, down the streets, there's always something absolutely beautiful. The history of the island is amazing. For all the beauty and the fun and shopping, food, one might not think history is in the background, but it truly is. And it just envelops you.
It always is. It always is with the Italian culture, right? I mean, it's steeped in history. No matter what little island you go to or little town, it's always steeped in history and tradition and culture. My family is from Italy on both sides of my family. So I appreciate this so much, and the love that you have of the culture and how you depicted that in your photographs. So how did it happen that your photographs ended up at Mauro Cafe? Who would like to jump in? You want to jump in, Evelyn? And then we'll talk to you, Piero, about how you curated all this. How did it come to be?
First of all, I mean, Lynne, it's an honor to have your pictures in the restaurant. They are so amazing. I really recommend anybody that is in LA tomorrow to just come and join us. They are beautiful. They look stunning in the restaurant. I feel like I am in Italy. I feel it is fantastic. The colors are just so perfect and so realistic. Lynne has been a customer of mine since I think I first arrived in LA. I arrived almost 30 years ago. And you know, with my husband and my brother, we started this restaurant. And now you know, through a series of events, I'm the sole owner. But I am so happy that Courtney, you know, reached out to me, and I didn't pay attention the first email, second email. I'm like, oh, but it's Lynne. I know her, and then I opened the pictures. I fell in love with the pictures first, definitely.
Yeah, but what I love about you and what I love about your cafe is your love of art and artists, and you've been supporting artists since I believe the inception of your cafe, Mauro Cafe. Tell us a little bit about your restaurant.
So when I first arrived, we didn't have much on the wall, and I really started, you know, with definitely with customers, and then I was approached also by a gallery that was doing mostly photographies on La Brea Photographers Gallery, and I was just introduced to Slim Aarons and other artists like Murray Garrett and many more, and I thought it was just an amazing way, you know, to display art, to share art with you know, with customers. I really think that a restaurant, the experience of a restaurant, it's not only you know, about the food, but it is it's really, you have to have pleasure with the eyes, and making sure that, you know, they keep coming back and they're always interested.
Yeah, and art has always been such a big part of your Mauro Cafe, right? Since its inception, and the cuisine there, it's based in what very much from the Sardinian culture, correct?
Yeah, the two brothers are from Sardinia. I lived there for a full year, so I'm very much in love. As much as Lynne is in love with the island of Capri, I'm in love with the island of Sardinia. I just got back 2 weeks ago to visit my mother-in-law. And the colors are just the same. We share the same Mediterranean. And we tried as much as we can to introduce, you know, as a special, the Sardinian food. But it's we stay definitely open to a more also California you know, influence, and but most of the dishes are the classical Italian dishes. The Sardinia would be, I would say, the big influence is mostly you know, the freshness of the produce and the freshness of the fish, and so go ahead.
And I know your son is the chef there now, right?
Yes, my son is now 25 and he graduated from a culinary school, and he just wanted to follow the step of his father, and who was the head chef until 2001. And so I am so proud of him. We were together in Sardinia because I always wanted him to get in the kitchen with his grandma. And he was learning a new few tricks about making the perfect meatballs. And he's in charge. You know, he makes all the fresh pasta for the lasagnas that we sell at the restaurant. And you know, we did something less common. You know, like the snails in tomato sauce. That's typical in Sardinia. So I don't know if I'm going to bring it to Los Angeles.
Okay, beautiful. Now, Piero, there you are, the epicenter of art, right? The very epicenter. You're calling in from Milan, and thank you for doing that. I know it's late there.
Thank you.
How did you become involved? I mean, you yourself are an esteemed curator and artist. So we're all lucky to have you curating this exhibit. How did you become involved, and how did you decide what photographs to display and how to even work that into the restaurant?
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. But it was not so difficult to be involved in terms of choosing such beautiful images. I'm saying this because I really appreciate the capability of Lynne to depict the reality. Today, it's even too easy to become, let's say, a photographer because the iPhone, because all the apparatus allows you to make a picture. But there is a big difference with a picture like Lynne and others. I mean, in which terms? Because she is depicting the reality with the light, and the light is the essence, the absence of photography. So if we go into through the past, we see artists like Caravaggio that was instructing us how to make a dramatic picture with the light. He used the mirror, to make light on your face, on your body. And that is the absence of the photography. So I really appreciate the capability of depicting such a landscape, which is in itself dramatic. When you are walking in Via Krupp or going to Marina Piccola or Marina Grande or the other beautiful places in Capri, you are always in a such of beautiful sentiment of how can I say, beauty. And beauty is the perfect word, in my opinion, to say the art of Lynne, because it's a beauty which is forever. And this is very new, in my opinion, because the contemporary artists, they don't have the sentiment to do something forever. They do, that's it. But we are very, we are very different from the past, because in the past, the terms forever, it was in the artwork. But I didn't answer to your first question, which was how I was involved. I was involved because Courtney asked me to choose among 50 images, to choose among them about 15, 20. And I asked, where are they going, these pictures? And Courtney said to me, in a restaurant which is called Mauro Cafe. And I was so happy, because to me, the most important thing for today is to take art out from the museum and to bring to this place in order to show them, because art is for all of us, even though not all of us can understand, because it depends. But this is the first step, to go out and bring to somewhere else but the museum. So I appreciate this, because it's courageous, from an artist to accept to be even in the most beautiful restaurant, even to accept to be among the food, among the people eating. Oh my God, I don't want this. But I do think that art and food have a lot in common, because it's another process, which is a creative attitude. So I'm glad that Evelyn from originally from Sardinia, if I didn't understand wrong. And tomorrow I'm flying to Sardinia, because I want to escape for a while to write something, and that is the perfect place. Oh, Capri. But, yes, but from Milan to go to Sardinia is easier than Capri, because you need the ship from Naples to Capri, a fast ship. Anyway, this was my thoughts on the first attitude, on the first step with Lynne's photograph, which I like very much indeed.
Absolutely stunning. Lynne, you are known for traveling the world. with your work. Let me just list off some of them. Actually, you have been, Cuba, Antarctica, Bora Bora, Egypt, the Galapagos, India, and what I know that they all hold a special place with you, right? But what is it about Italy and the Italian people? And what is it that captures you when you're walking past something and you say, I have to take that photo? How does that work in the artist's mind?
It's a very good question. I mean, I kind of tune out the world when I'm training, and I take pictures. Sometimes I don't even see what's there, but I know it's there, and I take a picture and hope for the best. There are a lot of big animals in Capri, so I'm not endangered that a lion's going to jump out at me or something.
Right.
I just think I see things. I see the beauty, and I think, as Piero said, the light and the colors in Capri are so intense, and they just envelop you, and it's magical.
Yeah. How many photos did you have for this exhibit, and how many are being displayed at Mauro's?
I believe it's 12, correct, that are displayed. I have a lot because I've been going there for many years. So, actually 18. Is that correct? 18 are available. But I have a lot of photos, a lot.
Yeah. And as we're sitting at the cafe, Evelyn, we look up, we see something. It also invokes a conversation, right? Like, oh gosh, I think I know where that is. I've been there. I love to go there. Or, it makes us want to order more food because it's such an exciting place to be. Do you know what I mean? Are you also sort of designing a menu around the photos? Perhaps some, specialty from Capri? How does that work?
No, that's a great idea. I might take that idea. I love it.
Oh, go ahead, take it. I think it's a great idea. Why not?
We definitely wanted, also because of our trip back from Sardinia, and I love the fact that I have the pictures from Capri. We want to organize a special dinner with a barbecue from Italy, and special dishes from Sardinia, Sardinian night, also with some botarga and some lamb and some grilled lamb and everything. So we definitely going to plan a few things during that exhibit, and we're going to encourage everybody to go inside to look at the pictures. We weekly remind people, to come over and see the exhibit, the current exhibit.
Yeah, to me, it just makes it's more lively when I'm in a restaurant and they don't just have canned, art on the walls that rarely changes. Right. I really enjoy going into a restaurant, and there are some out there where they change their exhibits, and it's so lively. Now, can people purchase a photograph? Yes, of course. Right.
Well, they can purchase the photographs, definitely. And
are these?
Goes to a charity. I usually always, ask either the artist if they have a favorite charity, but the restaurant does. We regularly, have charities that we work with the community, mostly based in Los Angeles.
Tell us the charity that it benefits, please.
It's Watts Empowerment Center. And it's based in Watts, and they offer a lot of art programs for children. It's a poor area, a disadvantaged area where the children can meet there. There's a music program, there's art program, computer graphic art program. It's a wonderful way to stay connected within the community.
Yeah, we just had on before our show, I interviewed Carlo Ponti, and he's an esteemed conductor, and he also does the same. He wants to introduce young people to music education the same way with the Watts. It's important to have art education. It's so important for our young people, because a lot of the arts are being taken away in our schools. And by raising money, which is what you're doing, proceeds toward that foundation, is just so critical to help support our young people. So thank you for doing that. Thank you all for agreeing to doing that. So anybody want to add in and just chime in at this point? Anything you want to talk about the exhibit, about putting it together, about your artwork, which really is incredible. People, I'm going to implore you to go to Lynne's website, because just learning about Lynne and her artwork and your journey into this is just beautiful. I feel like I'm there with your work. That's a good way to describe it. When I look at your work, Lynne, I feel like I'm right there. You know that, right? You've transported me right there. I feel like I'm in Capri or wherever else you are with your photos.
I feel like I'm there too. When I look at, I do feel like I'm there. And I hope that when people are at the restaurant and they're sitting at Mauro's and relaxing, I hope they feel relaxed and like they're surrounded not only with the beauty of Capri, but, it's a very relaxing, beautiful place.
Yeah. And Piero, you are an artist yourself. Tell us what inspires you, what is something that is very special to you.
Now I'm working on a very special thing to me, which I'm doing in Naples, near Naples, in a foundry, and I'm casting the bottles of water, which I call Waste Side Story, and it is interesting because it's a kind of new life to something that is designated to the garbage. But the plastic, it's also an important matter today. So I'm working on this, and I'm presenting in London next 2nd of November in a Lord Mayor dinner, something like that. And they are auctioning these pieces, which are casted in aluminum and are unique piece, because instead of the wax, for casting, I use the plastic, and so the plastic melts, and the metal goes in, and so it's a unique piece. I don't have any model, So this what I'm doing. But I want to add one thing that you mentioned before, talking about the charity program that you have with the restaurant and with art. Artists are always asked to be involved in charity programs. I have a very good friend in Milan who is the owner of one of the most expensive hotels in Milan. And she's always asked me, she's a very good friend, I love her, but she's always asked me, why don't you organize an exhibition for my kids in Burkina Faso or somewhere else in Africa or whatever? And I say, darling, why don't you give the revenues of 2 nights of your hotel to those kids? Because artists sometimes have to pay everything, we are not supported by someone. I have to pay the iron, I have to pay the casting, I have to pay my travel, my things. And why should I? I mean, I should, because I like to be involved in this program. Right. But at the same time, sometimes it's easier to think about and do by yourself, I don't know how to say in English, I'm sorry, but I hope you got what I mean. So I appreciate very much the charity programs when especially has the purpose to help the talent. And because the talent, if you have it, and somebody don't help you to grow, well, that is a pity, in my opinion.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Lynne, you've always been, that was beautifully said. I have to say, thank you, Piero, beautifully said, and very important. It's actually difficult to understand the journey of the artist and how they think and how they feel. And it's important to support that. So thank you so much. Lynne, I want to ask you, you've been a very successful businesswoman. For those people who want to get out and they have thoughts and they want to become painters, they want to become photographers, they want to be an artist, how do you follow that passion? How do you do that? What would you say to a young person who feels like they have that in them, especially in today's world? It's so complicated and so much that we can give through the lens of art, right?
Yes. I actually, when I was a little girl, I grew up in a small town. Well, not that small, Akron, Ohio. And I used to take art lessons when I was 5 at the Akron Art Institute. And my whole life, I painted, I drew. I used to make clothes for my paper dolls with my mother. And I wanted to be a fashion designer. I was an art major at Skidmore, and then I also studied fashion illustration at Parsons School of Design in New York. I ended up in the retail business because I needed to earn money to survive in New York. And then when I lived in Detroit, married my husband, had children, and we moved to California. And I opened a store with very, very beautiful corporate and retail gifts. And I think all of these things were creative endeavors.
Right.
I closed the store after about 10 or 11 years. And I did some charity work. I did some things with Tipper Gore in the mental health area, and was involved with a lot of different museums. I don't know, a friend wanted to go take art classes at Brentwood Art Center. So I thought, well, that sounds great. I haven't painted or drawn in a long time. So I went back quite a while ago, and I realized, like a lot of other things, I never exactly planned what I was going to do. I just did it when it was in front of me. And so I fell back into art, and I go to another world when I paint, when I draw, when I take photos. And my advice would be, don't be so organized. Just follow your passion. Do what feels good in life, and don't worry about the plans and the goals so much. Just let it roll.
Create. And any final words from you, Evelyn, who has been running this restaurant for so many years? It was originally owned by 3 brothers, right? 3 brothers?
The 2 brothers, Mauro and my husband, Roberto.
Yeah, and he's no longer with us, but how beautiful that your son is now taking over as the chef, and you are the proprietor, and including, you're very well known for including art and artists within your community, which really is what restaurants and art and everything is all about. It's about the community, right? And evolving the community. So any words you'd like to leave us with?
I'm so excited to have those pictures, because especially in the restaurant, because it's a very lively place and the pictures are very much alive. You see people, on the beach, you see people on a walk, you see the blue of the sea, and most of the colors in the restaurant are like a blue, and it just matches just perfectly. And it feels so much alive, all these beautiful colors, and the busyness around it, and people sitting. And I really feel much like we are in Capri in the restaurant for the next month. So thank you.
Absolutely. So people, if you want to go to Capri and eat some incredible Sardinian food, please go to Mauro Cafe, where you will see Lynne's beautiful work as curated by Piero within the beautiful and incredibly delicious restaurant, Mauro Cafe. It's really, a staple in the community. So I'm just thrilled to have the 3 of you on. I wasn't quite sure how it would go having the 3 of you. It's such different genres, right? Lynne with her art, and Evelyn with her beautiful restaurant and art, and then Piero calling in from Milan. But I think it worked just beautifully, having three artists from different venues, just sort of explaining what it's like to sort of come together and work together for such an important cause. So thank you all for joining us. And thank you to Courtney, my dear friend, who coordinated this as well. Any quick parting words before I let y'all go?
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you so much, Piero. I'm looking forward to meeting you. And Evelyn, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Deborah, I'll see you tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going and seeing the exhibit and being at the restaurant. Piero, I hope to see you soon as well. So everybody, thank you for joining us for our, go ahead, please.
Courtney, thank you to Courtney.
I think Courtney's right to your right, I believe. She's welcome to peek in and say hello. But she's always sort of the brains. Courtney is always sort of the brains behind the outfit, right? She's such a creative and a creative. Hey, oh, there she is. Oh my gosh, I love Courtney. But everybody loves Courtney, right? She manages to sort of coordinate everything and get all of her artist friends together. So it's really just wonderful. She actually, sort of coordinated an entire trip for us in Morocco. So you can't imagine what Courtney can do. So thanks, Court. Anyway, everybody, you can find our interview with Lynne and Evelyn and Piero on my Little Italy podcast as part of our Italian Heritage Month, and Deborah Kobylt Live, my other podcast, the one that I've had for quite some years now. And I'm just thrilled to be able to sort of bring the entire artistic community together here in LA. Looking forward to the exhibit, going to the cafe, and then some. So I appreciate you joining us. Please go to the cafe, enjoy some food, take a look at the artwork, buy some of the artwork. Proceeds also to, again, say the name of the foundation again.
Watts Empowerment Center.
Right. Proceeds to the Watts Empowerment Center. Anyway, thank you.
Really, it is.
Say it again. I didn't hear.
It's a very special charity.
Yeah, no, it is. So please look it up if you want to learn more. Anyway, we will see you all next time. Thank you very, very much for joining us. I'm your host, Deborah Zara Kobylt. And please tell your friends to join us too. Bye-bye.